What up, YouTube family, and welcome to This May Be Your Story reading. For my new subscribers, new watchers here, my name is Paris, aka Brightbat, aka Elvira, and you can check out all of my links below. I have a whole spiritual podcast where I do channelings, horoscopes, weeklies. I talk about my journey, and then you can also check out my Patreon for exclusive content, and my Instagram is below, and email if you want to book a personal session. Okay, so let's see what the story is going on. I'm hearing, ever since I was a kid, I've been legit. So some of you are actually being primed and presented in front of spirit right now as to see how high vibrational how high vibrational you remain in the face of opposition. Okay, so you're kind of probably going through like some sort of light workers initiation or healers initiation, starseed initiation, whatever you want to call it. You're being initiated into your higher timelines right now. And things may be very peaceful around you, but not really in the spirit realm. And this is why this reading is finding you, because during this transitional process, you're not going to find anything that you need in the physical. And what I mean by that is you're not going to be relating to the people around you anymore. You're probably not talking to someone you used to consider a childhood best friend, or just people from your childhood that knew you to always be a certain type of way. It's like you're outgrowing this group of people or this tribe or this community, this collective. Some of you is spiritually, you're evolving out of certain readers, and it's because you're evolving into a new collective. You're evolving into a 5D timeline collective, a collective that is focused on bringing in the reality that they desire, which means that a lot of drama and bullshit does not appeal to you anymore. So some of you, you're trying to find lighter information. You're trying to find something to grab onto that can transform your reality. And I am the perfect person for it. I give you all the tools to help transform your reality. There's so many tips and tricks that I've spoken out on this channel. And it seems like you guys really need to remember your power at this time. It's like you kind of forgot about it. I'm also hearing Stuart Little. So somebody recently watched Stuart Little, and that's a confirmation. What was the premise of that movie too? I remember. So Stuart Little, because I also remember watching Stuart Little and being like, bruh, this is me. So some of you could have related to the main character of Stuart Little, or another person that reminds me of Stuart Little. Wait, is Stuart Little the mouse? I mean the white boy with the blonde hair. I mean him. Meet the Robinsons. Robinsons has the same character like that, where it's like a white boy. He's like a scientist, just very smart, very nerdy, very quirky, but also like people love them. You've always been kind of seen that way. Like if you ever thought that you had an awkward phase, people always felt like that suited you. Like that's who you were, that's who you are. You've always been standing 10 toes on who you are. And you could be meditating and connecting back to your inner child, which is kind of like the higher self, okay? Because it is the purest version of self, and it is the one that carries the heart's desires as well. And you are Christed in your energies, but you're starting to understand the cycles and the moon phases more. Maybe some of you are staying on top of like spiritually cleansing. You're making sure to embody a high vibrational energy at all times, and you are going to be rewarded for this. But I just feel the reason that this message is coming up is to almost encourage you. I don't feel like there's a lot of things that this collective is doing wrong, but maybe thinking that you're doing something wrong, and that's what's keeping you in a cycle. Spirit took me through this last night where I still had to give back trauma that somebody gave me that was not even mine, but I was still in the spiritual court of law saying, hey, I did this, I did this. It's like when you see, someone gets unalived and then the police are like, tell us who the killer is, and you have people who just want clout coming in and saying they did it, but then you also have people who are crazy and believe they genuinely had something to do with killing that person even though they didn't physically. And you guys are like confessing to something and spirit is like trying to check for the evidence, and they're like, you didn't do this, okay? This is for a collective of you where you were in a relationship with somebody who was always cheating, always lying to you, always manipulating you. And emotional abuse is just as powerful as physical abuse, and it should be handled with the same attention. And some of you never fully, well, you are addressing it, but it's still like a blind spot for some of you. Some of you, you pray for somebody who doesn't really deserve it. That's for someone in particular. Sometimes you gotta pray that they get exactly what spirit feels like they deserve. When I'm real angry, because I have to catch my inner child, she's always like trying to like just send healing, pray, 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 pray. But sometimes I have to tell her, especially if spirit tells me, no, don't, because your powers are prayerful. Your powers are prayerful. Your prayers are powerful. And not everybody, it's like your prayers, if somebody's blessing is them meant to go through the worst period of their life, because think about it, like there probably has been some times in your life where you were like, damn, that had to happen to me, because if that didn't happen I wouldn't know this. And then if you're praying for somebody who needs to go through something, you know, let them go through it. It's okay to pray for them. Sometimes spirit, it's like sometimes you can do it, but then it's like if you're constantly doing it and you're intervening, you're gonna get punished for that too, because it's like almost trying to help a prisoner escape jail, you know? It's like sometimes they got to just serve their time and serve their sentence, and it could be hard for you. Like some of you don't realize that you're advocating for someone in spiritual court. You're like, your honor, they didn't rob us. And then literally they have it on camera in the spirit realm of how this person intentionally took, stole from you, spoke shit on your name, everything. You have the receipts, right? You have the receipts somehow, some way, even if it's not in the physical just yet. That's why you're probably still advocating for this person, this ex, this friend. You're trying to keep them in your life, but you just know it's draining you. That's another sign that you're advocating for the wrong people or you're in something wrong, is your energy feels constantly drained all the time. You're tired. You're being the martyr in the spirit realm because that's what you remember being. You remember being somebody who was, I'm hearing, tied up and dominated by society. So you've incarnated as a very high vibrational soul, yes, because you are somebody who doesn't have a hard time with forgiving people. But the thing with that is, if you were somebody who was taken out in a past life or sacrificed in a past life, even it doesn't matter if you're high vibrational, you're still coming in with that imprint of all that past life baggage. And I talked about that in, I forgot what reading it was, but how everything is a projection of the past life in the subconscious. So that's why it's so important to get to know your past lives, even if it's like you don't even have to remember them. Sometimes they just click. Like I have done so many readings where they're like, I don't even know how, but I resonate with this. I don't know anything about it, but I just feel it in my soul. That's a sign that, this is a past life trauma that you're healing. And a lot of people unknowingly walk into death traps, karmic cycles, because they don't understand their past lives and their contracts, what they're supposed to do, what they're not supposed to do. And that's why we have people like me out here who can access the Akashic records and tell you just exactly what life something is coming from and how to clear it out. Okay, so some of you, that's why you feel like something is missing, like you're missing a piece of information. You don't know that something trying to be revealed to you is from a past life. It's like it's getting jammed because you cannot perceive it. So I think it's manifesting as just I'm hearing indulgent tendencies for some of you. Like because every time you sit in meditation, you get uncomfortable when you start not knowing what this dark energy is. It's like, but it's really some information from a past life trying to present itself to you. You were probably brutalized. You were probably traumatized by something that was very ancient. So I feel called to speak on this dream I had where it was like it was back in the times. To me, it felt like biblical era, Jesus era, Yeshua era. And I know the story with that, it's like it's misconstrued to make it seem like it wasn't a genocide on women. That's what spirit was showing me. And a lot of women were killed because they were light, they were healers, and so many divine feminines are a part of this collective, and that's who I'm calling in. You know, they call it the witch wound, but I feel like witch is just so low vibrational because of the connotations. Like, I don't like to be called a witch because it goes surpast me just putting things together and reading spells out of a book. And I know there's so much more to witchcraft than that, but you are just a divine being. You are somebody who just, God was sending people to earth to help awaken the people who had became slaves. And you were one of these people, and you were brutalized. And what they did, burned, I'm talking burned at the stake. And I was looking at it in the dream from outside of my body is how I felt. And some of you transitioned and then you hopped outside of your body and you saw how people like ate your flesh. I'm not playing, like this is really deep. That you saw how people cooked you. Okay, you don't even remember, but you about to remember. It's something that happened to you guys that was very brutalizing. It doesn't just have to be that story. It could be like you were taken out by the hands of somebody else. Maybe this person is the very person that you're with currently, having a karmic dynamic with, you know, and it's not going to be until that is rectified. And also, this person has to be made aware that they were that too. And how you do that sometimes is by standing on past life business when you remember it. You have to, actually, is what I realized, you know, like you have to take into consideration, why was this person a match for this past life trauma? What was they doing before to where they got the part of this demonic force in my life, this past life low vibrational force? So you may be like me where you want to see the light in everybody, but sometimes you got to see that dark. You got to see the dark, even if it's a twin flame journey and you know you consider this person your other half. Not anymore. You're not reflecting in that way. Okay, it's like twins. Okay, you're gonna have a bad twin and a good twin sometimes, and you have to allow your consciousness to come back to your original state and let their consciousness be transmuted into whatever the truth of it is in this life is. Okay, yeah, some of you are in the midst of like truly detaching from like being merged in your twin's consciousness, or yeah, I'm hearing your twin flames consciousness. All right, a lot of divine feminines are going through a purification process where we are allowing ourselves to be evacuated. I'm saying evacuated from the premises, okay? Evacuated to our higher timelines, because that's what we're supposed to do. The feminine leads first with her intuition, and then the masculine follows, okay? He follows once he has learned his divinity, once he has learned his wholeness without her, okay? Because you may think that the masculine is not codependent, but he very much is, okay? Very much is codependent on, yeah, it can be your, yeah, I'm hearing your life, codependent on it. And some of you, you're dealing with a very egotistical twin where it's going to take a while to take off all this. Just think about when people do special effects makeup and how long that takes. It takes like 5 hours to put on, and then you got to take 5 hours to take it off. That's kind of what's going on with this person. Like, it's going to take a while for this person to be humbled in the eyes before spirit, stripped of everything that they put on, you know, through. And I was also like, what spirit is saying, your twin is a casted out shadow. That's what they've been telling me more recently, because they've been like, the twin flame journey is not all good. Okay, they like to like put it out that it's like this. It's not everybody that has a twin. Okay, or everybody does not meet their twin. It takes when you're meeting a twin, somebody who like you both equally hold each other's trauma, so it can come off as like a trauma bond at first, but then the true testament to if it's a twin is did it really evolve you? Did you really grow spiritually? Did it help you to end codependent cycles? And did you notice this person's life shift when you walked away? That's another tall tale sign, is that this person's life will shift when you leave it. It's not because of magic. It's not because you're doing anything to them. It is the sheer fact that they are a casting of you. So as your character is changing, their whole it's giving them an awakening. Okay, it's giving them an awakening to how much more divine that they could be. So it's almost like two of the most overlooked souls coming together to bring each other's power out. So you're coming together as one force in this life, but in two bodies. A similar mission of importance, okay? A similar mission. And some of you, the reason that this person is not transforming is because you're not prioritizing your vision of life. It's like you sit around, you try to, like, I'm not going to get too down on y'all. It takes a while. It really does. Like, it takes a while to stop obsessing over your twin or divine counterpart and come back into your life purpose. And that's why you're here. Okay, some of you, that's why you work with me. If you're an existing tribe member, you're here to work through that codependency so that you can have a year possibly of just truly feeling whole without this person. Spirit likes to see, can you feel whole without this person for a couple of years on your own? That's why sometimes the separations are long, because you have to fulfill something of your own too. And maybe some of you, your twin is like Buzz Lightyears ahead of you career wise, okay? And it's not meant to be like that. You're supposed to actually have an equal standing there as well, and an equal desire to heal your financial trauma. So it's like it's a win-win situation in a way, because you're teaching them that it's not all about the material, while they're teaching you, you got to ground into the material. You got to make connections. You got to get out there. Okay, so that's the beautiful part of a twin flame awakening. And naturally, at some point in the storyline, you guys are going to be a match. And whatever you decide to do at that point is going to be based off the new consciousness of both souls. Like, oh, like, there's going to be a forgiveness. Like, wow, look how far we came. I'm seeing some of you seeing your twin or divine counterpart after a break and having a very mature conversation, if not already, and deciding what to do with the connection. And everybody to each its own. It's not bad to choose your twin, especially if they're choosing you too, and their consciousness still is like drawn to you. But the whole point of it is to get two souls together, join them as one, join their stories together, because they both were light beings who missed out on a major purpose. Or divine couples, who were a part of helping Earth's purpose a while ago. From Atlantis, Egyptian times, the gods and goddesses of those eras, we are reincarnating now. We have been reincarnating for some time. So Yeah, I feel someone really needed to know that. It's okay that you can't go back to who you used to be. And sometimes, I know I was doing this for a while because I knew that once I truly walked away from my twin, his life was going to get so bad. Because why? I was holding him in the spirit. I was praying. I was like, please, spirit, just keep him good, keep him alive, because I worried about him. I worried because he was not going to have that. Not to say he could never access it, but I knew he didn't really like take it seriously sometimes when I would tell him, don't hang around certain people, don't do this, I don't feel like this is a good vibe. And like it was starting to make me feel crazy because it's like he wouldn't be as afraid of certain things as me. But spirit, that's why we had to separate, because spirit was like, look, if you would have listened to him, you would have fucking died, bitch. But it's true. It is like some of you got to stop listening to your twin in the spirit. It's like in the spirit, that's a whole different thing. Like, um, you could be trying to save this person. And as I said, you have to check when. Like, sometimes you are supposed to step in and help, but it's not like every day or like every hour. Okay. Some of you pray for them every single minute, every day. It's like a lot of fear because something has to happen, whether for them or for you. There's like a breakdown. Maybe this person is holding you in the spirit. Maybe like what I mean by that is maybe this person left you on a cliffhanger. Like, they said they were going to hit you back up or call you, and they haven't yet. And you're kind of like using that as like the fuel of your days. And that's why it's not never happening, because spirit is saying this person is keeping you from a major breakdown. You're gonna have to break down and realize, this person ain't coming back. Sometimes you have to put yourself, it doesn't mean it has to be true, but in the present, that is the truth of it, that they are not there. So you are safe to grieve, you are safe to feel sad. And as you purge out these emotions, you're gonna raise up, and you're gonna feel the new version of them, or you're gonna feel your new soulmate if this person is not evolving quick enough. But regardless, there will be a point, as long as you're doing your work, there will be a point where there will be a conversation. There will have to be a closure or a reconciliation. Okay. And you guys are right at the peak of figuring out what it's going to be. But you shouldn't be worried about the judgment of it, because it's going to be based off of what's best for you. You don't want to be in a situation where you're going to be unhappy. And that's what I was telling myself, like, lately. Like, yeah, spirit, every time you tell me to not do something and then I do it, I see just why. So when I listen, I'm always just, even if it's not something that I want, I'm just so thankful. Like, yeah, because I know I'm probably dodging something that's just going to make me feel 10 times worse than me working through a little funk. Okay. So let me see if that's all the messages coming through for this first one. Okay, so that's mainly what I'm getting on. This may be your story reading. I'll see you guys at the next one. Peace out.